morning and welcome to our webinar this morning. We are talking about ISO 45001 and workplace safety. It's about protecting your people and your business, which I'm sure is everyone's focus. And my name's Flora Neville. I'm going to take you through some of today's slides, and I'm also joined today with Chris, who is also going to take you through and do a demo. So I'll let you just introduce yourself, Chris.
Good morning, everybody, and yeah, thanks for joining us on today's webinar. So as Flora's kind of said, I'm Chris Murchie. I'm the head of sales. So I've been with the Citation Group for 10.5 years now on the ISO side, and I'm looking forward to giving you guys a demo on the platform to see what's available.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, and thanks for joining us, Chris. That's fantastic. Okay, just a wee bit of housekeeping, just let you know your microphones are muted and the videos are off. So, but we would love for you to interact with us, ask any questions that pop into your head as we're going along. Don't hesitate to pop them either in the Q&A, which comes directly to yourselves, or the attendee chat as well. You can access both of those. You can see the part that says ask a question, or there is also the chat function, so feel free to use them as we go. We've also got the opportunity at the end for some question and answers, so don't worry, we will manage to get through all of them, but feel free just to pop them in at any point during the session. That's absolutely grand. What we're talking about today then is the importance of workplace safety and its impact on performance, an introduction to ISO 45001 and what the standard covers, and how ISO 45001 can help your business stay compliant, reduce risk, and improve safety culture. And I'm sure that's why you're all here today, because you understand, recognise the importance of it and getting it right. And the responsibility of all of that is down to you as an employer and a business owner. So it's about getting it, doing it in the best way possible, but also doing it in the most efficient way possible as well. And that's the key thing, because as business owners, I think we're always trying to buy time, which we can't, unfortunately. So it's trying to get the things in place that help you to run the business that you want to run, I think, is key. Okay, so be certified then, your simple path to certification. Chris, do you want to explain this in a wee bit more detail?
Yeah, of course I can, Flora. Thank you. So, just to give you a bit of an overview on the Be Certified platform. So, we've within the Citation Group, we've got a sister company called Citation ISO, who are one of the leading ISO certification bodies within the UK, who are accredited by the ASCB. The reason that we've kind of created the Be Certified platform is to kind of help businesses who may need to achieve ISO certification, but for the accreditation to be UCAS accredited rather than ASCB through our sister company. And what we kind of found is that businesses will kind of come to us, not really have an understanding on what's required or what's needed for them to kind of achieve certification. So the Be Certified platform was designed and created using everything that we kind of do over with our sister company at Citation ISO, but a streamlined way of enabling you as a business owner to be able to kind of go through the process at your own pace, with all the help and support that you need without needing to necessarily go out and pay a consultant to kind of get you through that process. Because what we kind of find is that actually, from a business owner point, you are the experts in your business, so you're going to know the things about your business more than what a consultant would do if they spent a day or two with you. Normally, businesses will kind of use a consultant because they don't understand the ISO or what's required or what's needed to get them through that process. This is where the platform, and we'll kind of go through it in a little bit more detail on the demo, but this is where that platform's designed to kind of support and guide you through that process. And it's been created by consultants with a lot of experience within the ISO industry, but it just kind of brings it all together into one place and makes it easier for you to kind of build and create that management system, but then also kind of maintain that going forwards.
Fantastic, thank you, Chris. That's great. Okay, so a wee quick question then. is how confident are you that your business is taking a proactive approach to workplace safety and risk management? So no test, no no judgment or anything here, just purely so if you click on either A, very confident, B, somewhat confident, or C, not confident at all, about how confident you are that your business is taking a proactive approach to workplace safety and risk management. So interested to know what you're thinking about that. Okay. So just as you're doing that, I'm going to then jump on to talk about World Safety at Work Day, which is a global initiative and by the International Labour Organization to promote safety, healthy and decent working conditions. So it's a global thing, as I'm saying, it's not just UK wide, and it is very much their focus. This is the World Safety Day, and the focus is ensuring a safe and healthy working environment as a fundamental principle and right at work, following its inclusion in the ILO's core principles back in 2022, and that's obviously been carried forward and highlighted today and in lots of other ways as well. So it does highlight the need for strong safety and health systems, proactive risk management, and collaboration between government, employers, and workers. So it's very much about focusing on having the right things in place, and we've always talked about health and safety, very much focused on safety, and we've got a big health focus now as well, which is exactly how it should be. But being proactive about it is the key thing. Making sure that we're putting things in place to ensure the safety and the health of everyone. It's not reacting to that as and when, or when there's been an issue or an accident or an incident or whatever else. It's about having that as one of your core values and making sure that it happens as standard, and that's how your business runs, is the absolute key thing. So it's a real focus and highlights the need and the importance of getting it right, and looking as well at what you have in place at the moment and how you do that. Is it sufficient? Is it the right way? Again, how it's communicated, does it work? Is it monitored? All of these things are important to ensure that it is a core value and runs consistently throughout the business, is the key thing. Okay, so why does workplace safety matter then? Well, we know it matters for a number of reasons, one of these being that it protects people. So if you don't have a safe workplace, you can end up with injuries, illnesses, horrendously fatalities, all of these kind of things. So we're very much focusing on keeping people healthy and productive, and somebody being off sick, whether it's through illness or injury or whatever else, it does affect production, it does affect the rest of the team. So all of these things feed into it. Affects the culture, because if lots of people are unwell or off sick or injured or something like that, that has an impact on the other people who are there and their colleagues, and in turn productivity, well-being, culture in the organisation. So making sure that you have a safe workplace and you're preventing as much of these happening. Now, you're dealing with human beings, you are always going to have illness and things like that, but prevention is better than the cure, and so trying to prevent any of these things happening. It's also when somebody is unwell, it's managing that effectively as well, because managing absence is always one of the challenges that comes up time and time as an employer. So it's just keeping abreast of that and having the right things in place to make sure that things are as good as they can be. The second one there is boost business performance. Fewer incidents mean less downtime, lower costs, and a more engaged workforce. Absolutely. Everybody wants to have the least amount of incidents and accidents you can possibly have. So again, the focus from the fundamentals of health and safety then looks at that, and then in turn you have got less things like time off, and it's costly. When somebody's not there, because you're getting somebody else in to cover and whatever else, you're maybe not being as productive, or there's key people missing out the business, and it is very much about having that engaged workforce. We reckon that, and certainly engagement is a key thing right now across the board. And they are your biggest asset in your organisation. Your team are your biggest asset. You need to make sure that you're looking after them, and they are engaged, and they feel part of something. They just feel like a number. People don't want to feel like they're just they're not part of something. They want to feel valued. They want to feel like they've got a voice. They want to feel like they're included in the business. So it's ensuring that that happens. Builds a reputation and trust. So demonstrating a commitment to safety improves stakeholder confidence and employer brand. You can't buy reputation. Everybody wants to have a good reputation. You cannot buy it. So, word of mouth and demonstrating safety and all that kind of thing are the ways to build that. The problem with that is as well, though, you might take, years and years and blood, sweat and tears to build a good reputation. It can change in the blink of an eye, where something goes wrong, there's a bad accident or something. So again, it's having that commitment to safety, prevention, ensuring that things aren't going to go wrong. There's no, all of those things build that reputation and the trust as well. When it comes to recruiting, the best way to recruit is word of mouth. Again, you can't buy it. So ensuring that your employees would recommend you as a good employer and a good place to work. Ask them. Have you ever asked them if they would? That in itself is an interesting, an interesting discussion. So make sure that you ask them and they are clear, or you're clear, and they'll tell you what their thoughts are. Meets legal duties, ensures compliance with health and safety laws, reducing the risk of fines or legal action. Nobody wants to have fines or legal action, so you need to be compliant. It's non-negotiable. When you're talking about health and safety, it's very black and white. So you need to be compliant with legislation and all the health and safety aspects. So again, it's important to get the fundamentals right, and continuing those through as well is the key part. Okay, so the link between safety culture and performance. Having a strong safety culture doesn't just protect people, but it strengthens the entire organisation. So we've just touched on some of that. So obviously, if there are fewer incidents, it reduces that downtime, it reduces the disruption and all the associated costs of other people doing it, maybe overtime, having to bring in agency, whatever it might be, or not producing, properly for a customer, or, slowing down something. So again, it's, the fewer incidents, the less negative impact that it has on the business. Higher engagement, employees feel valued. They have, they feel like they are part of something. They feel like they're involved, that they have a voice. And that in turn does lead to better morale and retention. And you want to retain people because recruiting right now is not fun for anybody, but also you've put a lot of time and investment, and you've got a lot of knowledge and skills and all that in those people that you've got. So you want to keep them and not have to start again as little as you can. So having that morale and retention, and being a good place to work where people want to stay and continue their careers with you, then is always positive. Improved efficiency. Everybody obviously wants to be efficient. Proactive risk management supports smoother operations. Absolutely. Hopefully looking at things, changing things, getting on top of things before they become an issue, or identifying as well that, okay, we might have a bit of challenge here, let's risk assess, let's do whatever we need to do. We need to maybe change or, do something different with the management of a certain area in the business. So making sure you have the smoothest operation that you possibly can. And a stronger reputation. Demonstrates the company's reputation as a safe place to work, helping to attract, engage and retain top talent. We talked about reputation and the importance of it and the fact you can't buy it. So being able to demonstrate what you do, how you run a business as a place to work, those are the key things to build that reputation. And again, I think these are the things that people are looking at much more nowadays than they ever have as well. So it's important that you're able to demonstrate that good reputation, and it gives you the competitive edge in a lot of cases as well. Whether you're attracting staff or whatever else, I think it does have a massive impact. Introducing then ISO 45001, which I'm pretty sure you're probably at least a little bit familiar with. It's the international standard, obviously, for managing occupational health and safety. It helps organisations take a structured, proactive approach to protecting their people. It supports business to establish processes to keep staff safe and healthy, identify and manage workplace risks, stay legally compliant with health and safety laws, which is your duty, and ignorance is not a defence, so you need to know what you need to have in place, and you need to ensure that you have implemented into the business whatever is required, and build a culture of continuous improvement and accountability. We're dealing with human beings, things change, society changes, work changes, the environment changes, the people change. So again, it's keeping on top of that continuous improvement and looking at it, assessing, evaluating, reviewing, updating, changing as required. So it's just ensuring that that happens. It's not just, you look at things once and then you don't think about it again for another 5 years. Ensuring that continuous improvement and obviously accountability. And it's more than a standard, it is a framework for safer, stronger businesses. And there's, we see that time and time again, the importance of it as well. What does the standard cover then? ISO 45001. Your operation, you'll need to set out the ways in which you plan to manage the safety of the people you're responsible for. Start by assessing your existing procedures and identify any legal obligations. Then you detail how you'll identify and react to emergency situations, any hazards, any risks, and also opportunities. Then the evaluation part is what's the best way to check if something is successful. Well, we know that it's monitor and measure and evaluate the performance of your management system, and that can be done through internal audits, incident investigation, compliance evaluation, and worker participation. So various ways, obviously, to do that, and continual improvement. So that's also is always about finding out the way to do things better, taking corrective action, putting preventive measures in place, and continually improving. And that is based on the evaluation, obviously, of performance and lessons learned. So again, it's that continuation of looking, assessing, reviewing, making sure that what is in place is the right thing. And things will change, you will identify things that are not right, but it is learning from those and updating and continually improving all aspects of it is the key thing. There are many benefits, obviously. Some of those benefits are things like reducing workplace accidents. So ISO 45001 helps you identify and minimise hazards so you can create a safer environment for everyone. It also boosts productivity. So you're increasing employee awareness of health and safety risks, and you're empowering your workforce by promoting that culture of safety that sets the stage for peak performance. So again, it's about the promotion, and I talked earlier about culture. It's about having a culture of safety as the norm, and as opposed to it just being something that happens once or occasionally, or when things have been implemented. It is the consistent culture in the business, and that's the best way to to do that. And that's where ISO 45001 will promote that on a regular basis. One more business, many organisations do require businesses to hold ISO 45001 certification when tendering, and we're seeing that more and more. So if you can stand out and show you've got it, you'll unlock those bigger and better opportunities. And a lot of places now, ISOs are standard in tendering processes, so more and more people are looking for that, just as that badge that they know you are of a certain level, of a certain quality, etc. Better legal compliance, you show that you follow health and safety best practices and avoid legislation breaches and the hefty fines they come with, obviously, as well, which you want to be avoiding. But demonstrating that you follow the health and safety best practice is the key thing. Reputation, again, always pops up. It's about showing the world you're committed to health and safety in your business with the certificates that recognise worldwide is the key thing. And obviously, saving money. With best practices in place, you can reduce costly accidents, absenteeism, which we know is a massive cost and challenge to manage, and in turn, downtime as well. You can also lower your insurance premiums too. So, again, all these things have a huge impact, and if you add them all together, then it's a massive cost cutting exercise as well. So there's nobody, I'm sure, on here that would not like to save money as well. So think about it from that point of view too. Okay, so achieving ISO 45001 then, it provides you with a solution to better manage your health and safety risks to prevent work-related ill health and injury. And the key thing is it might be a lot easier to achieve than you think. I think sometimes it is that, ISO, we start talking about it and you see people thinking, oh, where would I even start with that? How am I going to build that in? Have I got time for that? But it's not what you think it is, and it's very, very achievable. If you do have another ISO such as 9001 or 14001, then you've already got a good solid foundation, because the standards do share many common elements, as you may already know. So ISO 45001 can also be integrated with other management systems, making it easier and more efficient to manage. So it's not just completely standalone. They've got that integration and overlap as well. So once you've got one, absolutely, you've got the grounding for the next one as well. So if you are a citation health and safety client, so some of you may be on here today, then you'll already have lots of the policies and procedures in place. So you could already potentially be meeting about 70% already of the requirements of ISO 45001 certification. So you can absolutely be on a fast track to getting certified, because our basic things of policies and procedures and all the rest of it are, key in that meeting that already many of the requirements. So that's the key thing. We ensure that you're set up like that. Okay, so I'm going to hand you over to Chris now to actually do a wee demo of the platform and give you a wee bit more explanation on that. Thanks, Chris.
Perfect. Thank you, Flora. Right, so I'm just going to share my screen, so just bear with me one moment.
No problem.
And make sure I can... There we go, and hopefully, if technology has worked, you should be able to see that now. Perfect. So firstly, I thought what I'd do is I'd just show you the website, and this is how you can purchase the standard or standards that you're interested in kind of taking out. So everything is all done kind of through the website. So you don't need to be speaking to anybody. If after the demo you're kind of happy and you think, right, yep, really love that platform, I want to kind of get going, you're able to kind of jump onto the website, and I'll talk through a bit more kind of towards the end, but you're able to purchase it directly from the website. We also do have the option for anybody on the webinar today who wishes to kind of have a one-to-one walkthrough on the platform. We're able to kind of get that arranged and scheduled as well. So there'll be some details towards the end of the webinar that will give you the information you need to be able to book that in if you wish to have a one-to-one kind of demo. Once you've purchased your chosen standard through the website, you'll then receive your login details onto the platform. So the demo platform here, I've purchased all of the certifications that we've currently got available. If you'd only purchased the ISO 45001 as an example, that would appear here. The other certifications, so our ESG, our 9001 and our 27001, would appear under here in your add more certifications. So at any point you can add new standards on as you kind of go, which is what typically we tend to find businesses do. They see the benefits, they see the value add, but they want to work at their kind of pace, and they want to create the systems without feeling rushed or feeling the need that they have to kind of get something done within a certain time frame. The benefits to this platform is you work at your own pace. So it's, we appreciate that you as a business owner or somebody working within the business, your sole priority is not just going to be the creation of the ISO management system. You're going to be spinning many plates, and there's going to be other tasks and jobs that come in, and sometimes there'll be things that are, unexpected, that kind of land on your desk that need urgent priority. So the benefit to going through the platform is that you can pause at any time, you can leave it, you can come back to it at a later date. Whatever stage you stop at, the system will save that for you. So you don't need to go back in, you don't need to recomplete anything. It will save the work that you've done so far. And that's kind of the benefits to kind of going through this platform as opposed to kind of bringing a consultant in. I touched on it a little bit earlier on that if you bring a consultant in, okay, they've got the expert knowledge on the ISO, but actually, even if they spent a week in your business, they're not really going to get underneath the skin on kind of how your business truly operates. You're the experts in your business, and by bringing a consultant in, you have to work to their timeframes because a lot of them you'll be paying them on a day rate, and by doing that, you're under pressure to get the management system created and in place quicker, which may mean that actually necessarily it's not implemented in the best way. So by going through this route here, it enables you to work at your own pace. And kind of it might be something that you turn around and for a particular tender, particular contract, you need to get it quickly. So it enables you to work at your pace and get it done within a week. It might be that it's a nice to have for you. So you want to take your time, you want to work through it, you want to ensure that you truly know exactly what you're implementing into your business. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we created this platform is it takes that stress away. But kind of the important thing, and Flora touched on it a little bit earlier on, is there's some people who, when they think about ISO, they've got no experience or no knowledge on it. And actually that could be quite daunting, not knowing what you're getting yourself into. The platform here has been created and designed by consultants from our sister company at Citation ISO, and it's been created so that it's easy to follow, easy to understand, so that anybody can pick it up and know exactly what needs to be done. So once you've purchased the standards, your certifications, they will all appear here for you to be able to work through. So as you can see, we've got some that haven't been started yet. So I'll be getting to them at a later date. We've got one that I've started and I'm 9% of the way through. And then I've got one that I've got the green tick in, which means I've worked all the way through. I now have a compliant management system for the ISO 9001. In terms of the platform itself, so another benefit is you get unlimited users. So you don't necessarily have to put all of the work on you. You can spread that workload and get other people involved. And from my experience, the thing that I kind of say is that the more people that are involved in the creation of that management system, the more invested they are, the better the results the business will see, because they feel that they've been a part of that. So in terms of the users, you can have unlimited users, as I said. Once you sign up, you'll get one primary user. So they'll be the person that's in control of adding and removing people from the platform. It's nice and simple and easy to do. So as you can see, I've got a few people already on my platform. But if I wanted to add another user, it's as simple as going up to the top here, clicking add user. And then just need to enter some simple details. So their first name, their surname. You can add a telephone number in there, but it's not essential. Anything with the red asterisks, that is what needs to be completed. So you pop in there an email address. What they will then do in a similar way to when you first signed up, they will receive a link which will then give them access onto that platform. Now, as a business, there's going to be certain people that you want to have control to be able to edit the management system. So it might be you as the health and safety manager, it might be your quality manager, but there's going to be certain people that you're going to want to be able to edit and update that management system. But you're not going to want everybody to be able to do that. So we've got two profiles, which means that you can have somebody who's able to update and amend the management system, and then you've got somebody that can just view the management system, so they can't make any amends to that platform. And you can change someone's access at any point. So it might be at the start you need somebody to support you with one of the clauses. You can give them access to be able to update the system. You can then change them back to just being able to view the platform at a later date. So that's within your control. Once you click save details, that email link goes over to that person. They'll then be added onto your user list here. So you can then see exactly who's got access, who's actually logged in. So whether it's active, if they haven't, it means they've not registered to be onto the platform. So they've received your link, they've just not accessed it. So it might be that you just need to give somebody a little gentle nudge to ensure that they're accessing the platform. And you can edit at any point by clicking on the three dots to the right hand side. You can view and you can edit anybody's access, as I said, at any point with them being there. But one of the kind of the key things to that is the fact that you can have unlimited users on that. A real benefit for businesses, so you can have multiple people on there. So if we go back now to our dashboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a completed one, and then I'll give you a view on what it looks like as you're kind of starting through the platform. So one of the key kind of big questions that we always get asked from businesses is, okay, the platform's great, we love the platform, it's user friendly, but do I need to pay a consultant to do a gap analysis first so I can see exactly where I am? My answer to that is always, you don't need to. People will say, consultants will say, oh, you should have that gap analysis. But if you look on the left-hand side here, we've got the clauses. This essentially acts as your gap analysis. So you will work through each of these stages as you're going through. And the bits that you're able to complete and add will mean that you've got them in place at the moment. So you'll kind of work through all of this. So an internal audit program, as an example, as a business, some businesses currently will conduct internal audits to ensure that processes, procedures that they've got are still fit for purpose. So you may already have a process in place for that at the moment. Now, kind of one of the key things to kind of stress with the ISO is it's not about ripping out what you're doing as a business at the moment. You've been a successful business, you've got to the stage you are at the moment. So, you've clearly got defined processes in place at the moment. So it's not about ripping out and starting again what you've got. It's about looking at what you've got, seeing how compliant you currently are, and then getting the support that you need to fill in the gaps. So as you kind of work through this, if you've got a process, you've got a document, we can use that. And you can add your own documents in if you do have them. So I'll take you through to the document stage in just a moment. But this on your left-hand side, the clauses, that is your gap analysis. So if you paid a consultant to come and see you, that is exactly the steps that they're going to be walking through to see how compliant you currently are. So actually, why pay a consultant to do that when it's all there on the left-hand side for you? It's all part of that platform. When we designed and created this online platform, that was in our mind of we want to save clients the hassle of needing to bring multiple people in to get that management system into place, but also we want to make it cost effective. We don't want achieving ISO to cost you lots of money. We want to try and make it as cost effective as possible. So from my experience, businesses haven't needed to go and get that gap analysis because of the gap analysis essentially being down there on the left hand side in the clauses. As you work through, you'll see at the top here, you've got your percentage bar. So this one's been completed already. So we're 100%, which means we've got a compliant management system now in place. So I can now take this to my chosen UCAS certification body and have them conduct their stage 1 and stage 2 against what we've created here. But as you kind of work through, you'll see the percentage bars will work up as you kind of go through it. So you can always see kind of how close you are to having a compliant management system in place. Now, another question that we get asked quite regularly is, at what stage should I kind of engage with a UCAS certification body? Initially, I would say that you don't need to be doing that right now. The key thing is kind of working through this gap analysis and seeing exactly what you've got at the moment. So how far through are you with this? From that stage there, what I would then say is when you get to about 85%, the system will say, right, great, you're almost there now. Now's the time to be looking at who do you want to be using for your certification. Now we do work alongside a UCAS certification body that kind of, if it is something that you choose to go through with be certified, we can kind of put you in touch with them to give you an idea on what the cost will kind of be. But when we do that initial demo, we can give you an idea on the durations. So what you'll find is that all UCAS certification bodies will follow something called the MD5. So that is a risk factor. So it kind of looks at the size of the organisation, the sector that you're in, and will determine the risk, whether you're low, medium, or high. That then determines how long each of the stages will be. So how long will the stage 1 appointment need to be? How long will the stage 2 appointment need to be? And how long and of the duration is your audits each year? Now, because all UCAS bodies have to follow that, it means that the durations will be the same whichever UCAS certification body you go to. The only difference is going to be the day rate, but we know that the certification body that we work closely with are one of the most competitive in terms of that day rate. But what I'd be saying right now is when you're at the early stages, you don't need to worry about that just yet. It's when you get to about that 85%, which is where I'd then be saying right now, that's where you need to start looking at who do you want to be using. And what I'd be saying is contacting them to schedule in, because what you'll tend to find is that a lot of certification bodies, there'll be a waiting list until you can get that appointment in. So there's going to be a bit of a lead time. But when you get to that 85%, that's the time that we'd be saying to start looking at it. As you work through all of the clauses, as you complete them, it will give it a tick on to confirm that you've completed each of the sections within the clause, and then it will tick the clause itself to say that that's now complete. On the right hand side, you'll see that we've got a guidance section. So again, another thing that we kind of get asked is that, the benefits of having a consultant is you've got somebody on site, they can kind of talk you through it. What we've done is we've kind of used our consultants over in our sister company, Citation ISO, to support us with the creation of this platform, which means that everything that is completed on this side here, so the definition of what this clause is, has been written by a consultant. So it's like you've got a consultant there, but you're just not paying for their time to be there. You're reading it in your own time and digesting it, and learning at your own pace. So it breaks down kind of what, in simple terms, what does this clause mean? Underneath there, it's what will the auditor be looking for. So in terms of here, internal audits constitute the evidence of this clause. So as all documents will be updated through an internal audit schedule is actioned and maintained. You've got a response section. So if you're still a bit unsure, what should I be putting in here? How can I complete this? We've got a section that confirms what should your response include. But actually, we've also given a sample response here. So there's no harm you lifting and shifting, so you can copy and you can paste that into your section here. Now, you may look at that and kind of go, okay, actually, we're going to tweak some of that, or we're going to add a little bit more into it. So you can do that at any point. These are just sample responses, but we know that kind of these sample responses, because they've been written by an ISO consultant, we know that that is compliant with the standard. And then there's some hints and tips, which again supports and helps you through that point there. If you're kind of going through this and going, actually, as a business, we don't have an internal audit program, actually, or we don't have, we don't conduct management reviews, or we don't document the management reviews. We do them, but we just don't document them. We have a template section here. So you can click onto that and go, right, I need to get an internal audit report. So you can click on that. That will download an internal audit report for you to be able to update. So you can put your company logos onto it. You can tailor it to you as your organization, because as I mentioned right at the start, you're the expert in your business, and there'll be things that you kind of want included in there to make it easy for you. It's all about, we'll provide you with the guidance and the support that you need to create that management system, but ultimately it's you as a business owner, or you as somebody that works within the business. It's how is that system going to work for you? And it needs to be right for you guys, because you're the ones that are going to need to maintain it going forwards. And if you implement it in the correct way at the start, you're going to maximize and get the most out of that management system going forward as a business, whether it be internally or, the benefits that come externally when you're going and tendering and securing new work, or as Flora kind of mentioned, bringing people into the organization, because actually, when you're going out to recruit, people want to know that they're coming to a business that actually they take pride in this. They take, they generally care about the business and the path it's going forward. So, that's all kind of the key things within that. If you did have an internal audit report, what I'll do is I'll jump across to the document section. So you can upload a document that you've got. So if you already had something, all you need to do is come over to your document section, click add, and then you can create a document. Now you can also create a folder. So it might be that you've got a 9001 and you've got a 45001, and you want to kind of separate the documents so it's easier for people to know where they've got to go. So you can create a subfolder inside a folder, which can be, you've got your 9001, and then you can have all of your clauses and your documents for your 9001, and you can have another folder for your 45001. What you can then do, once you've added your documents to it, is you can go back into the section that you need to do, and then the evidence, you add that document that you've got. So you've got your own document, click on here, click choose documents, pick the document that you want, add that in. Because as we said, this supports you with creating a management system, but what it will also do is it will become your management system going forward. It makes it easy for you to manage and maintain because everything's all in one place. And then, as I said, once you've kind of gone through, you've completed all of your clauses on the left-hand side, so you've completed your gap analysis. You've got a compliant management system in place. And again, something to kind of touch on with when you're creating a management system is in the background, you've got AI, which is rating your answer. So what AI is going to be doing, it's going to be having a look at what you've completed. So if you didn't want to use our sample responses and you were creating your own, it would rate your answer to kind of say, how good of an answer have you kind of put in there, or other tweaks or amendments that need to be made. So it then ensures that kind of once you've finished going through all of the clauses, you've got a management system there that you can take confidently to a UCAS certification body of your choice and know that you're in a very good place to achieve certification. So that's it. Once we've kind of gone through it, if I show you through one that's not quite been completed. So as we go through here, so again, you can see that there's some tips in the background before you've started typing anything in. And then obviously once you start typing over that, then responses will disappear. But it's there to kind of give you as much guidance, as much support for you to know exactly what it is that you need to be doing. Because as I said, coming into ISO, I've got 10.5 years experience. So for me, it's, it just rolls off the tongue. But for somebody coming into it who may not have the experience within it, you need as much support as you kind of need, and you need to feel at ease with what you're going through to know that actually, the stigma around it's hard to achieve certification, it's hard to create a management system. It's not. It's all about the support that you've got and the guidance to get you through creating that system, and that's where the Be Certified platform kind of stands out in the marketplace. It's as I said, written by consultants with ISO experience, but it is simplified. So it makes it easy for you to know exactly what needs to be done in order for you to achieve a compliant management system. So once you're then completed, you may at some point find you need a little bit of support. Now, so far, I've found that, nobody's needed to go down having some consultancy support, but that's not to say that it won't, or that you won't need that help. What we find is because the guidance and the support and everything that's on that right hand side, because it is so simplified, because it is so easy to follow and understand, we find that people don't need some extra help. But you might find actually, you've created it, you just want somebody to kind of check it over, or you get stuck on a specific clause. You do have the option to request some consultancy from one of our consultants at our sister company, Citation ISO. So all you do is you go onto your left-hand side, click Get Expert Consultancy, and complete the form here on your right-hand side. And what that will then do is it will ask you specifically, what support and help are you looking for? And then what will then happen is that form will come through to us. We can then have a look at what it is. We can then contact you to discuss the options that you've got. So this is a payable service, but it will all depend on what support it is that you need in order for us to kind of gauge how much time we're going to need with you, and therefore what the cost will be. So you do have that option there if you need it. As I say, at this moment in time, because of how the support's been written and how easy it is to understand, we've not needed anybody to go through that route, but we want to make sure that we're that one-stop shop for people. We want to make sure that kind of you feel supported at all stages, And that's where having this as an option gives you that peace of mind that if you really do get stuck, you do have support on hand. And in a very quick way, I think, or not a quick way, you might tell me differently in a moment, Flora, but that is the platform for the Be Certified platform, which, as I said, is really user friendly. The feedback that we've been getting is it's really user friendly. The guidance and support it's easy to follow, easy to understand, and I think we've got some testimonials on the website that kind of confirm and back up kind of what we're saying. So we've got one here. The guidance and samples were excellent. With ISO, it's difficult. We've got a few kind of on there. There's many more that we've got that just aren't on the website, of clients who generally feel that the platform is a fantastic value, and there's lots of benefits that kind of come with it, and also very cost effective way of getting a compliant management system into place. So if there are any kind of questions, Flora kind of mentioned that we have the Q&A section. So you can pop it in there. That will come directly through to myself and Flora that we can kind of answer. Or you've got the main chat, which you can kind of pop it onto there. So any questions, more than happy to kind of talk through them. But that is the platform. So I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Brilliant. Great, thanks. That was fantastic, Chris, and really, excuse me, shows, how it can be done, and simply and with support, and it's all there, isn't it? And I think that's the key thing for sure. So it's like holding your hand to get you through every step of the way, which is I think for it also, just from looking at the demo, I'm sure it just kind of takes the daunting part of it away from people. They can understand how it's broken down and very, very achievable, as you've just showed us. So that's brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, so simple path to certification, and absolutely Chris has demonstrated that is a simple path to it. You've got the platform, which is there, and again, you could see all the elements of that. It is built by real consultants and auditors, so they have an understanding of how it needs to be done, what needs to be done, and takes you through the simplest route to do that is the key thing. Lots and lots of years experience there behind it, so it's getting it right first time, and simplification is the key, and it is all in one place on your terms. And I think for a lot of people that's the key thing, that with the best will in the world, you can't just devote days and weeks and at one time. It's about being able to dip in and out of that as and when you need to, and as and when the business allows, and all the rest of it. So I think that's the important thing there, is it really shows you how that is possible, and it's workable for you, is the key thing. So why choose Be Certified? Obviously, you've got that expertise there to help you through every aspect of it. There's no jargon, there's no guesswork. It's very much about simple language that makes what can be a very complex world easy to understand and easy to navigate. There is your step-by-step digital guidance, so you've got the templates, you've got the sample responses and the expert tips there, which help you do it quickly, accurately, efficiently, all of which is what you want, to be able to just get it done properly. Auditor approved templates. There's 100+ ready-made templates designed to speed up your certification preparation, and 24/7 access. So simple, fast and flexible certification that adapts to your schedule and supports team collaboration, and instant access. So you log in again at a time that suits you. That might be 6 in the morning, it might be 10 at night, it might be 2 in the afternoon. You can just log in and go, which is, I think, one of the biggest appeals to it, is it's as and when you are able to do that. That's the important thing. Okay, so one of the testimonials that I think you touched on there, and he says here, and again, Gary, you can go on and read it, but Gary's saying, it's definitely the platform to start. It's quick and it's easy. It gives you all the answers, the suggestions, templates, and samples you need, and it's step by step, and it's easy to follow. And it's getting that 100% confidence of going through an audit and 100% confident coming out with a clean audit first time, which I think is everybody's slight fear with these kind of things as well. So getting that confidence in itself, I think, is really important. So, Chris, I'll just hand back to you actually, just to talk about people getting ready to get started with that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Flora. So, as I kind of touched on at the beginning part of the demo, it's all very simple. It's quick and easy, and as Flora kind of touched on, this is all on your terms. So you kind of work at your pace, access at any point. You can purchase the standards that we've got and the certifications that we've got available directly through the website. So if you visit the website here, so becertified.com, you'll be able to kind of purchase the certifications of your choice, which you may opt to buy the one to start with and then add them at later dates. One of the kind of the questions that I have seen kind of pop up in the Q&A bit is around kind of purchasing more than one standard and kind of the complications, or how hard is it going to be. What you'll find is that especially if we're looking at the 9 and the 45001, there's lots of crossovers between the two standards. So actually, from a duplication point, it will make it easier for you to be able to kind of achieve the compliant management systems. So don't think that it's going to be too much in terms of hard work to kind of take on more than one standard. So the good thing with the ISOs is the way that they've been created, especially the 9 and the 45, as I said, following the Annex SL, they've been designed to make it easy for businesses to kind of implement at the same time. So if it is something that you're thinking of doing more than one, then I would highly encourage and recommend that you kind of take them at the same time, because you'll be able to kind of work through them. And as I said, anything that is in within your 9001 that crosses over into the 45, you've already completed it within your 9, so you can kind of lift and shift that into your 45001. But again, it's all about working at your pace and how you want to work. So it might be that taking one at a time to get your feet under the desk to really see that what we're saying here today, that it's not as daunting as you think that it's going to be, creating this management system due to the help and support on the BCert platform. So you can purchase it all online, and then you get access to that straight away. So once you've completed that purchase, you completed your card details on there, you will receive instant access to that. So you start the journey at that point, and then use everything that we've kind of gone through in that demo to kind of create that management system to get you ready to take that onto your UCAS certification body. But as I did touch on as well, if you do want to have a closer look, so I can see, I'm sure if I could see faces, there'd be a lot of sort of nodded heads of kind of, how great the platform is. But if you want to have a closer look and you want a bit of a one-to-one experience, you can book a one-to-one session. So you can do that either directly on the website by clicking the book a demo button, or kind of ask any questions. But I'm also available, and we've got a dedicated team that are on hand to kind of support as well. So if you do want to kind of have a closer look, if there's some questions that you kind of got that you want to take away from this forum, then we're more than happy to kind of book that in. So my contact number is on there, so give me a call on my mobile, so 07592 386 303, or drop me an email at chris.murchie, which is MURCHIE at becertified.com, and we can get that booked in for you.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Chris. Yep, and as Chris said, there is a button there for the book a demo button or buy online button, so you can easily access it through that, no problem at all. And I hope that's been helpful. I think we've answered all the questions that we've had along the way, so I think we've covered a lot of ground. You may well have some more after today's event, which we appreciate. But again, get in touch. More than happy. Chris's email is there. Mobile is there. More than happy to give you a shout and talk about it in a bit more detail. Or if you want to put your details in just now, if you want to set up a chat or anything, then feel free to pop that in and we can get that arranged for you. Absolutely no problem at all. So feel free to do that. I think we've answered all the questions that have come across me. Anything further from you, Chris? Did you get any other questions or anything else you want to mention?
No, that's all the kind of questions answered. There were some questions that kind of came through as I was doing the demo, but managed to kind of bring that into the demo bit. But if there are any further questions, as Flora kind of says, that you kind of want answered, or kind of want me to re-go over, then feel free to kind of reach out, and I'll be more than happy to help.
Absolutely fantastic. Okay. Right, well, unless anything comes in the next few seconds, then I think we'll bring it to a close. But thank you for joining us. Thank you very much, Chris, for taking us through that really in-depth demo, which was superb, and gives a real understanding of the platform and the benefits of it and how simple it is, I think, is the key thing, isn't it? That it is very easy to navigate, which is always a bonus, always a bonus. So thank you very much for joining us, and thank you to all of our attendees who have joined us. And as I said, anything at all, don't hesitate to get back in touch with us if you want further information or you've got a question to ask or whatever else it might be. More than happy to catch up with you and talk through that. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking time out your day. We appreciate it, and we'll look forward to speaking to you really, really soon. Okay, thanks guys. Take care.
Thank you.